Hey folks, welcome to another edition of Fitness Friday Posi-TIPS with Rachelle. Folks, it is always great to be here with you on another Fitness Friday, the best day of the week. Gotta love it. And folks, this is actually the final leadership positive for the year. Of course, since we'll continue the leadership series and episodes will continue on to 2021, but this is the last one for the year. And next week, I look forward to kicking off a new type of episode that I told you about a few weeks ago, and it will be positive pointers. And so next week, I'm going to tackle the topic of membership cancellations. This is going to be a very practical episode on joining a fitness facility, getting a membership, and conversely, canceling. You know, when the thrill is gone, what do you do? And so this is actually the first time I'm going to tackle this topic, surprisingly, in the more than 6 years that Fitness Fridays have been going on. So I look forward to doing that. And so stay tuned for that. But folks, this week, today. And so we've talked about a lot. We've talked about a lot this year, certainly from a fitness leadership perspective. And I'm going to close out the year. And see, I even laugh because you know what's coming. When you see me with this clipboard, you know what is likely coming. But it is such an important concept. Certainly in business, I mean, it's a foundational, fundamental concept. And so we talk about the pressure and the challenges. Again, the SWOT analysis, there's maybe someone that's just tuned in today and like, what is that? What is she talking about? So the SWOT analysis, very, very foundational to many aspects of business. Strengths and weaknesses are internal, opportunities and threats are external. So we all know what a tremendous threat the coronavirus pandemic has certainly wreaked upon the world. I mean, from a health perspective, from a public health perspective globally, but certainly from a business standpoint, I mean, there's just so many aspects of life that have been upended, quite frankly, by this pandemic. And so when we think about from the fitness industry, the fitness industry in particular has faced undeniable, unprecedented challenges because we know from a public health perspective, it's been shown that because gyms are, you know, like other type of environments are indoor, just saying you have people that are possibly breathing heavy and all of that. So the possible rate of transmission is higher in those type of facilities. So there was earlier this year, we remember gyms were shut down and there's been subsequent reopenings and shutdowns and limitations placed just on various facilities in various parts of the country. And as I alluded to, and I've said this a number of times, this situation in terms of the pandemic's impact on fitness facilities is very fluid, ever changing. This is not something that's just gonna, you know, for the time being, it's not just gonna be just very even keeled and predictable. It's absolutely not. It's gonna be like this. It's been like this since the pandemic started, and it's going to continue to be kind of up and down and just a lot of fluidity and instability because just the nature of the situation with cases increasing and then we've had some gyms closed again and some reopened and then some placed on limitations, as I alluded to. So the reality is the challenges that are facing the industry are certainly going to be here for a little while, and certainly until, you know, the population can get vaccinated and all of that. So that's gonna take a while. So everyone needs to get comfortable, as we have been throughout the year, with this have to get comfortable with uncertainty. And there's a lot of people that just want to be in control, and it has to be this way, and this is how it's going to be, and have been very closed-minded and have had tunnel vision in terms of, you know, their fitness operations, and this is how we've always done it, and it's worked this way, and it's been successful. And I'm here to tell you, and that's true, of course, outside of the fitness industry as well. But the pressure that the pandemic has placed on us as individuals and human beings has just really highlighted the importance of being open. And I've talked about this, being willing to pivot, being willing to do things differently. You know, you may have had your plan was this is how it's going to be, and this coronavirus pandemic has upended that plan. All right, and so that's just the nature of life. Obviously this pandemic is unprecedented since, you know, the last one in 1918. But when we think about adversity in general, and I know And I have a reputation when it comes to diversity, adversity, just as being a very positive person. I'm just a naturally positive person. And so if you're the type of person that is a Debbie Downer or a negative Ned, and particularly during adversity, I mean, these are the type of people, and I've had this kind of feedback where it's like, Rachelle, I will drive you crazy. I will drive you crazy in hard times because I'm just going to remain positive and upbeat and encouraging, and just know we will get through this. We will get through this, folks. We've gotten this far. We've gotten this far. Thing is, this really took hold in the month of March, folks, and here we all are. And hopefully, as I alluded to before, we've become better people. This has developed our character. This has challenged us. This has forced us to be creative. This has forced us to look at a plan B, C, or D, or E, or F, instead of just having this plan A, or this is how it has to be. This has opened up possibilities. That is what adversity does, folks. And I will never get tired of saying this, we grow more in the tough times of life than we do when everything's hunky-dory and everything's going our way. All right, so adversity, don't look at adversity. I mean, adversity is never fun. Challenges are never fun. The storms of life are never fun. But folks, they are necessary. They are necessary in our lives. And so when you look back, particularly, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, on this chapter, of your life, we need to all do it. We need to look back and say, wow, I really grew during that time. And from a fitness leadership perspective, wow, I really grew. I really grew. That situation forced me to pivot or to do things this way or to start doing competitive analyses and not thinking that I was the best thing since sliced bread. My facility or facilities were the best thing since sliced bread. No. We've got to be open. We've got to be open. And that's why I sleep well at night. I love what I do because I love the opportunity to tell people the truth. To tell people the truth. What did I tell you? My 2 fundamental goals for my Posi-TIPS is to tell the truth and to help people. Because if I sit here, and I used to be a big people pleaser, and I was a queen of telling people what they want to hear, folks, so I know the struggle on that is real. But I realize you don't help people. People are, oh yeah, this is great. And you tell people what they want to hear and whatever, this and that. But telling people the truth, particularly in tough, adverse situations, it is rough. It is rough. Because as I alluded to earlier this year, we talked about, yes, even in adverse circumstances like this pandemic situation, from a fitness perspective, the opportunities, as you've heard me say, throughout this year, were digitization for those who hadn't already kind of evolved and transformed on from a brick and mortar only type of existence, and also digitizing that by leveraging technology to do training via app and just different things like that. So those were the opportunities, in the terms of leveraging technology to digitize your fitness offerings, as well as home fitness. I mean, these 2 areas, particularly home fitness, home-based fitness, have been doing extremely well. And so you never once heard me say, that fitness facilities, this is going to be your year with this pandemic, and because I think it's easy to do that. And keep in mind, I'm a very positive person, so it's easy to look at to be optimistic and say, okay, so research and studies have shown. Okay, for example, with all due respect, obesity is a very, very challenging factor in terms of those who are diagnosed with coronavirus. So there are some who may have told themselves, hey, I own a fitness facility, or I run a training studio, or I own a spinning studio, whatever the case may be. I own a YMCA. So this pandemic is going to present a tremendous opportunity for me in terms of gaining members. People are going to just be all over this. They want to get healthy. They don't want to die from this pandemic, whatever, this and that. And that has not happened. That has not happened at all. And so when you think about, and that's why I just love what I do, just really being real with people, is when you study human behavior, when you look at research, particularly around exercise science and the behaviors in terms of exercising and maintaining fitness long term, and motivation and what drives people in terms of human behavior. No, No, I mean, you notice, I mean, with all due respect, I mean, people have not been lining up during this pandemic to sign up for gym memberships. People are not, there's not this huge, undeniable health craze that is going on in this country right now. That's just the reality of the situation. Um, Maintaining a fit lifestyle and that type of commitment, dedication, and determination is something that requires a lot. And I just know from having worked and of course, having a fit lifestyle for almost many years now, since 1994, but also having worked in medical sales, and you kind of learn those, and I learned those lessons early on, in that just human behavior, and having many talks and heart-to-hearts with some of my customers, obviously, who were physicians that I called on, and they would have this talk about these same, encouraging their patients to become healthy and not relying on a pill to do everything, and of course, not talking about the situation. The vaccine is important. We need this vaccine. It's going to be a wonderful thing. Not talking about that, but we're talking about some other type of health conditions that could be improved or avoided with diet and exercise and all of that. So just those type of behaviors that are necessary. And I remember learning those lessons early on that is, as a general rule, people are not into doing all of that. And that's why, unfortunately, I mean, the reality of the situation is, they quote us all the time, the Center of Disease Control. In Atlanta, they would give these facts. 2/3 of adults in this country are overweight or obese. And so, and one third of children. So when you think about them, you look at those numbers and you say, wow, this is an opportunity for us to really turn things around, and people are going to be lining up to get healthy and to have these lifestyles to eradicate those numbers and decrease those numbers in terms of those in the overweight and obese category. Folks, not happening. Hasn't happened, is not happening. It's not happening. And so that's just the reality of that situation. It's the reality of that situation. So we have to think about, what opportunities there are, what are the threats. And so, unfortunately, just this pandemic has been a very, very big threat on the industry. And so I've talked a number of times about what folks are doing. So I'm not one that's going to, be Debbie Downer and, oh, this is sad in terms of the impact on business. Yes, it is. It is very, very sad. But I'm always going to be one that's going to add some balance to that and say, okay, so this is the reality of the situation. What can we do? Okay, what solutions? What solutions do we have for this problem? What can we do moving forward? How can this make us a better business, a better entity? How can this make us better people? You've heard me say that a number of times this year. And so I'm always very solutions focused. Okay, this is a problem. What are we going to do to fix it? What are we going to do to solve it? And I've given you a number of examples throughout the year of folks that are really taking, and entities that have taken the bulls by the horn and say, hey, this has challenged us in unimaginable ways, but hey, we've taken the bull by the horns, and they've, in many cases, experienced positive results by pivoting and being open to doing things differently. And I just think there's great lessons in that, and there's great inspiration in that. And wanted to kick off here with an example from the Detroit News. And so, I like to highlight the big three here in Detroit from time to time. And so this article was actually published on November 20th. So Jordan Grulewski from the Detroit News, as I stated, wrote this article entitled "Ford to Launch New Digital Platform to Sell Used Vehicles." All right, so this is a lengthy article. I like to always provide sources. That's just who I am and how I operate. But I also like to do that. So if you want to take a look at this article in its entirety, because I don't have the time to go through it all, just gonna highlight a couple of quick points. You can do so. But so let me start this off by saying Ford Motor Company is launching a new digital platform for used vehicle sales. A move aimed at increasing the Dearborn automaker's market share as new online startups compete for the favor of consumers and investors alike. The platform, branded Ford Blue Advantage, will allow Ford's 3,100 member dealership network to list and sell their used vehicle inventory in a single digital marketplace. Ford executives announced the new offering during a 3-day annual dealers meeting conducted virtually earlier this week. Dealers recognize the growing competition in the used car space, and that a combined effort with Ford and its dealers would provide a competitive edge. Ford spokesman Saeed Deep told the Detroit News. The idea for the platform was developed in partnership with Ford's National Dealer Council, according to Tim Hovick, who serves on the council and owns the Santan Ford dealership in Gilbert, Arizona. Last paragraph here I'm going to highlight. 1 out of every 3 of the 3 million used Ford vehicles that change hands every year are sold by Ford dealers, according to the Dearborn automaker. Now the Blue Oval, under new CEO Jim Farley, sees an opportunity to grab a bigger slice of the market by offering the digital experience that many of today's consumers have come to expect. The decision comes as online used car retailers such as Carvana and Vroom have promised consumers completely online transactions, and as those companies have found favor on Wall Street. So this is not investment advice, not investment stock recommendations, none of that, folks. This is just an example of how, and it goes on to talk more about actually Carvana. We actually have one here. We have one of those Carvana locations here in the city of Novi. It was very, very interesting seeing that going up. Actually, before I left to go to Louisiana, and now it is up and ready. And so it's so interesting. I was behind a car recently in the last week or so, and it actually had, the license plate. A lot of times, how the dealership will have, whatever, Ray's Ford or whatever, on the license plate wherever you buy your car. It actually said Carvana, and I said, wow, look at that. These cars are moving from our location. And so Ford was responding to what? The competitive pressures in the marketplace. All right, we see this digitization where we're just many aspects of life shifting towards bricks and mortar to online, and that trend is going. I think this pandemic has certainly accelerated that, but it is going to continue. This is something this is not going away. This is not going away, and so leveraging technology is so important. But what? So they made this change out of what? As a result of what? Competitive pressures. Carvana, Vroom. Okay, these folks are coming on and bursting on the scene and providing what? And serving as what? A threat. And so that's why I tell you, just competitive pressures, adversity, those type of situations force you to pivot, to be open, to change, like nothing else. Because if life is going hunky-dory and everything is going everything is going your way, and you just have record-breaking sales every year, there's no growth in that. Pun intended, record-breaking sales every year. But pun intended, there's no growth in that. It's the changing, it's the pivoting, it's the being open, it's the reacting to competitive pressures, that going on offense versus going on defense. So it's these challenges, while they may not seem like it, and I know, folks, this is hard to hear. Times like this are good for just our character, certainly, but just the amount of innovation and creativity and just positive changes that occur as a result of tough times are just undeniable. There's just no other way to say it. It's undeniable. So I wanted to highlight that quick example that, yes, not only are changes happening in the fitness industry, but you've got long-time players like Ford Motor Company and others that are also doing things differently in order to be successful moving on into the future. And so wanted to highlight, so we talk about this competitive analysis, SWOT analysis, competitive analysis, marketplace analysis, situational analysis. There's so many different ways that you can take a look at it. And so what I want to do here is give you a couple of examples. So we know that Black Friday and Cyber Monday and sales results overall was down. It's just not as as strong as previous years, and the economy's kind of in a tough spot right now. And so it is more important now than ever to have, from a marketing standpoint, and certainly for sales-driven fitness organizations, to have solid sales strategies, promotional type of strategies. So what do we think about? We talked about a long time ago, I talked about sales promotion. And so what are sales promotions do? Create a sense of urgency. Act now. Act sooner rather than later. Whether that be a coupon that you get in the mail, or a limited time offer, or an email that you get that expires and your deal expires in 24 hours, or whatever the case may be. So they're very good at generating action, particularly in the short term. In the short term, getting people, boosting incremental sales, boosting incremental memberships from a fitness perspective, boosting incremental volume, whether it be from a consumer or CPG company, a consumer packaged goods company such as Unilever or Procter and Gamble or Fritos, whatever the case may be. And so wanted to give you a couple of great examples here that I found here in our local Detroit market from a fitness perspective in terms of Black Friday. Black Friday. What deals were happening from a fitness membership and fitness facility perspective on Black Friday. So going to kick off now. Anytime Fitness, I've talked about Anytime Fitness a number of times over the years, and certainly had the wonderful pleasure of just studying that franchise as I do. I like to dig deep and just do a lot of research. Did research on this company 2016, 2017, learned a lot. And so I remain on their mailing list and certainly here for the location here in Novi. And it's amazing. In 2012, I actually have a picture that I have on my couple of cell phones ago that I actually have a picture that I went to that grand opening when it was owned by the Michaels, very, very nice couple when they opened that up in 2012. And now they've sold that company a few years ago to Patrick and Brittany May. And so they've been going strong at that location. And got an email from that location for Black Friday on November 30th, 10:59. And so the title of the email, Final Day to Save on Memberships, Training, Supplements, and More. All right, so very comprehensive, compelling offer. Rachelle, Black Friday ends tonight, and ends tonight's in all caps. Save big on memberships, training, face masks, and more. So, and then it says save. Memberships, $29 to join, and no dues until January 1st. 50% off personal training, and it has in parentheses $120 for 4 sessions. 40% off face masks and bandanas, parentheses regular $10. 30% off MyZone HR, so heart rate monitors, and in parentheses regular $69. 30% off all supplements, and then it has all retail offers available while supplies last. To inquire about a membership, text or call us, and here's the number. We work by appointment only. These are our hours. Schedule your appointment now so you become a member and take advantage of these amazing offers as soon as possible. And then it has a heart, Anytime Fitness, Novi. So one thing, and I've been kind of followed this for a very long time, and seeing with this offer compared to other offers is now the membership offers and no dues until January 1st. That's certainly been running corporately, and I've seen those at various Anytime Fitness locations in terms of promotional offer. But I like the way this deal, they sweetened it up for Black Friday. So we know your Walmarts, your Amazons of the world have their Black Friday specials, Best Buy, they have their Black Friday specials. And so in the fitness arena, it was very impressive to see this. Okay, not just having, yes, get your membership for $29 and no dues until January 1st. And that offer's actually been going on since November, if I recall correctly. And so, but they sweetened the deal, but also increase the likelihood and the ability and potential of increasing incremental sales volume on other items, such as certainly personal training can range anywhere. I talked about this last year, anywhere from 20 to 30% typically on average of a fitness facility's bottom line, those that offer it. So certainly a healthy contributor to the bottom line for those that offer training, but also face masks and bandanas. So additional opportunities for sales, heart rate monitors, supplements. So it was very comprehensive in terms of, you see these sweet membership deals in terms of what is being offered. Yes, okay, come on in, join, yeah. That's wonderful, but here's an opportunity, and here's certainly an entity that took advantage of an opportunity to leverage this opportunity, this big day, Big Friday, Black Friday, to generate potentially generate additional incremental volume in sales in terms of supplements and HR and heart rate monitors and face masks and things like that. So it was just very cool to see. It was very, very cool to see. And the final day to save right there, and it was all in caps. Final day to save on the title of this email that came to me. So I always like to highlight examples and just to point out, good things that people are doing. And so this is an opportunity. This is a good opportunity that they took advantage of. Want to also highlight, gotta scroll down here, find it, get to here, Black Friday. Second example I want to find is Edge Fitness, Black Friday. All right, so yes, here we go. So Black Friday, Edge Fitness Club. So got this email here on November 27th. November 27th. So of course it ran for Black Friday, and I want to say maybe, I can't recall if it was the day after, but definitely Black Friday. So the title of this message: Rachelle, get a free sweatshirt and 1 year free. November 27th at 11:12 a.m. So Black Friday sale. Buy your first year, get your second year free. Black Friday BOGO sale. So BOGO, buy one, get one. Very, very common sales promotion tactic, particularly in the consumer packaged goods or CPG industry. So that's why you'll have stores that buy one, get one, whether it be grocery stores, retail stores, and other type of stores. Retail, very, very commonly done in the retail sector. So this deal is too good to miss. Buy your first year, get your second year free, and get a free sweatshirt. In club only, and then there's a link that says Find My Club. Head to the club for these exclusive Black Friday member promotions. Hurry, these deals are ending soon. See, hurry, these deals are ending soon. All right, so it has Join Us For, and it talks about other club offerings. And so very, very interesting concept. So buy one, get one. And so what this does, and what this actually required, was you buy 1 year in advance. So pay in full, get the second year free. And so when you think about that it's just a very competitive and compelling offer for very different reasons, various different reasons. So when you think about the industry and the fact that we're in the midst of a pandemic, and so folks are more leery in terms of fitness memberships, in terms of locking things down long term, because there's just a lot of uncertainty right now in terms of what's going to happen. Are you going to freeze my membership? Are you going to keep charging me? And I've talked about earlier this summer about number of class action lawsuits filed in this country against fitness entities and fitness chains for billing issues around how that was handled when those gyms were closed. I won't get back into all of that. And so we just know when there's trepidation on behalf of members and potential members of what's going to happen. Am I going to be charged? Yada, 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 yada. So the potential in terms of offering someone the opportunity to pay in advance. And I've always felt that the pay in advance option was, again, for someone like me, and when I first moved here to Novi and I joined, it's what was previously Powerhouse Gym, was actually Fusion Fitness. That was when it was founded as Fusion Fitness, owned by Mr. Wright back in the day. And so was there for a year, and I paid that membership in full. And so I've always been actually a pretty big proponent of paying in full and things like that. And of course, in these situations, when entities had this option during this pandemic, many of them, as I've read, just extended the membership end date, or that how long the membership period ended based on how many months the gym were closed, gyms were closed. So it wasn't like the person, because they paid in full, lost months, and you just extended in terms of what their membership dates were, active membership dates were. So that's just an opportunity. So, but you have many entities in the fitness industry and chains that do not offer the pay in full option. They want to bill monthly and this and this and that. And so for various reasons, people do things. And certainly it's great to have variety, those that offer pay in advance options and those that do not. But so in a situation like this, there's just very different ways. And so when you think from a revenue perspective, look at the bottom line. So you're getting people, you're offering a compelling promotional offer to get people to pay for a year membership in advance. And so you think about that, will be able, based on the number of memberships that you sell, you can look at that, and that's going to be just bottom line impact right there, impactful to your bottom line. That's going to be revenue right there in the entity, in the gym's coffers, as opposed to billing someone monthly, which is was always good. Billing someone monthly, though, that person can cancel, and then you can't, from a revenue projection standpoint, particularly if you have a promotional offer like this, where you can say, okay, we sold, based on our gym, 278 memberships in full, and so you can look at that. You can look at that hardcore number and say, this is what it is. It's an incremental boost that we got from this promotion, as opposed to, okay, join our gym now with $0 down, and there's a monthly fee required, and that person cancels in 2 months. And so, it's just different ways of handling things, but these type of promotional, the buy one get ones. I mean, there's a reason why, from a retail perspective, the buy one get ones, the BOGO offers are always very compelling and definitely can open people's eyes in terms of, oh, you know what, may be afraid of committing, but hey, if you're just going to extend my membership, let me do this. Let me buy a whole year and get a whole year free. And so that's essentially, you know, you're being rewarded because that person is taking a risk and committing to say, I'm paying this full membership for a year, but I'm also going to get this year free. So you give a compelling offer, and there's got to be some type of certainly sacrifice required to get that type of deal or promotional offer. So, you know, just wanted to share that. You know, when you think about from a competitive standpoint, what are your competitors doing? So we know that some entities, when you join, you get a membership, you get a t-shirt. Planet's done that for a very long time. And so Edge came along, really sweetened up that deal. And from a competitive standpoint, and said, okay, yeah, they're giving t-shirts away. We're going to give a hoodie away. We're going to give a hoodie away. What can we do from a competitive standpoint? What can we do to really, you know, stand out? How can we boost and elevate our game in various aspects? So it's got to be strong. So folks, the competitive landscape in the fitness industry, these are just a couple of examples that I found here locally that were just very strong. So it can't be business as usual. You know, you hang your hat out, you hang your shingle up, and you know, oh, this is fitness gym, or this is this studio, and just come join us and just pay your regular price and all of this and that. When you've got competitors in the marketplace that are up their competitive game. So think the gym that's just, you know, $0 down and all of that. Yes, those are wonderful. Those promotions are great. You know, all promotions can certainly be strong and generate incremental growth in terms of membership signups and all of that. But what are you doing? How are you compelling people versus what your competitors are doing? And that's why I'm always going on and on about this, the value of competitive analysis, because you could be going on strong and thinking that, oh yes, we are rocking, whatever, we were rocking for so long, but all of a sudden people aren't signing up like they did last year. And I mean, obviously this coronavirus pandemic is a variable that certainly changes that whole equation and potential. But just recognize, you know, we've got everything from the big automotive companies to Amazon. And you want to know why these are like the Amazons of the world that are uber competitive. These folks, they've got team members, staff members. They are just sleeping and breathing what their competitors are doing. You know, you got the Walmart Plus program trying to compete with Amazon Prime. You know, you've got people that actually, you know, Walmart and all these other folks that are competing with Amazon now. I mean, they're also too got people that are just, what can we do to stave off this dramatic impact by Amazon? What can we do to keep Amazon from decimating our business? Because we know, we've talked about this. I've talked about this throughout the year. Amazon has been doing extremely well. Was doing extremely well before the pandemic, is just rocking and rolling during this pandemic, just rocking and rolling. And so you look at entities like Kroger and just different places that are offering, you know, free pickup, and they'll bring your groceries out to your car, and there's no fee for pickup and all of this and that. Some of them were charging earlier on for pickup services. But reacting to competitive pressures, what are people doing? What are entities doing? And how can we not be swept away from a competitive tidal wave that is just, you know, takes you under. And so entities that don't have a clue what their competitors are doing, are just doing things their own way, refuse to be open, refuse to pivot, those are the folks that are struggling the worst. And then, so that's why I always encourage you. And then a few months ago, I talked about just truth. Surrounding yourself with people that are willing to tell you the truth. The people that were cheering you on, and yes. You know, hypothetically speaking, no market research was done to determine, okay, we got 3 gyms, a gym owner, Jim. So Jim or Jane, okay, so they own a gym, or they got 3 locations now. No market research was done to determine. Now they've, you know, had 3 locations last year. This year they've got 6. No market research was done if there was to determine if there was truly potential for 6 locations, the 6 locations that they now have. All right, and so since no market research was done, there's not quite, the potential is not quite panned out. And so it's and they've had staff members, yes, this is a great idea, let's grow, let's grow, let's grow, let's expand, let's expand, let's expand. And those people certainly telling Jim and Jane that they just wanted to keep their jobs. I mean, that's just a human nature. We've all been there. We've all been in that position where you tell your boss the truth and you tell them what they want to hear. And so now Jim and Jane are not instead of just struggling with 3 Jims, they're struggling with 6 Jims. Why? Because no one would tell them the truth, and they didn't want to hear the truth. They didn't encourage and foster the truth. And so you think about the reality of the situations and where the opportunities have existed during this pandemic in the fitness arena. Home fitness just been blowing it. Home fitness based entities have just been blowing it out of the water, doing extremely well. Peloton, won't talk about Peloton yet again, but Nordic Track and some of the other ones just experiencing tremendous growth in this segment and during this time of year, and during this pandemic. So just up your game. Because there are competitors, certainly in the fitness industry, that are upping their games, that are bringing competitive pressures to the market like never before. And just you don't want to be caught, asleep at the switch. As my dad used to always say that, they're asleep at the switch. You don't want to just be, caught off guard and all of a sudden you're reacting and you're taking a more defensive posture because your competitors have come into a market and they are just putting tremendous pressure on the market. Why? And you never saw it coming. You never saw it coming because you were too busy with tunnel vision focused on what your business, your chain, your gym, your studio was doing. And these competitors have come in and have just taken your members like left and right. And so I'm going to close here with this final example. And this is another one actually from Edge Fitness, not a Black Friday, but this is actually an email that I got from Edge. And the title of this message is, hurry, only a few hours left to join the Edge Fitness clubs with enrollment and first month, so 0 enrollment, first month dues, both free. So you got free enrollment and free first month. Join online or in club before midnight. Hurry. And so got this on October. This was the day I got back from my most recent trip to Louisiana, October 27th, 10:48 a.m. And so this message came from Eric, and I was thinking like, who is this? And, and then I looked it up, did a little research. It's actually the general manager of our the first location here in our Metro Detroit location, Farmington Hills. And so the first message, so it says, "Hi Rachelle," and I'm not gonna read all of this, but when you talk about from a competitive standpoint, and I saw this, and I said, you know what, there's some folks there at corporate that are really on their A game, and so I've talked about different entities, whether it be when I was a member of Powerhouse, and I shared those leadership lessons of having the co-founder, the living co-founder run that gym, and just the lessons that I learned from there, and just how he was so open and just sought feedback just so often and regularly. And it was so humbling just to hear this man that co-founded this gym with his late brother in the 70s, and he is just all over, how can I make this better? How can I improve this gym? And it just was always seeking feedback. So just one of many lessons I learned from that experience, and many wonderful lessons I learned at Planet Fitness, and just having my membership under the Commerce, Michigan location of Planet, and under PF Michigan Group. They do a wonderful job, and the wonderful lessons that I learned there, and just how competitive, and just the wonderful growth that they experienced. But some of the greatest lessons were just that leadership, particularly those early leadership demonstrations during this pandemic. Just wonderful franchise leadership coming out of the state of Michigan. So just you can't say enough good things about those folks. And so from a marketing perspective, we know that Planet is a behemoth. I mean, pre-COVID is certainly was a behemoth. And certainly I know this COVID situation changes things to some extent, but marketing behemoth. So there's always these lessons I learned along the way. And so I'm always pointing out different things with Anytime Fitness and those lessons that I learned. I talked about those, but from Edge Fitness perspective, and I've told you as when competitive analysis and competitive strategy is one of my key areas, 2 of my key areas. And so this franchise, from a competitive strategy standpoint, very, very impressive, very, very impressive. And so I've tried to give you examples that I've encountered throughout the year. And so this is one here as well. But when I saw this email, so it said, "Hi Rachelle, wow, you look great, and great is in all caps. But the question is, how do you feel? And so it goes on, and you free guest pass and all of this and that. And so when I saw this message, though, when I saw it, and I said, wow, you look great. And so when I saw this, I said, now there has to be, from a sales standpoint, from a marketing, certainly from a sales standpoint, there had to be some type of, prospect research. So prospect, salesperson, so you're trying to sell a gym membership. Someone who could potentially get a sales membership is a prospect. So that person may email you, they may call your club, they may fill out an online form, they may have come to your grand opening, so that potential person or member is a prospect. So a sales prospect if you have membership advisors or former salespeople, formal salespeople. So, and I said there had to be some aspect of prospect research that went into sending a message like this. Because, you can't you can't tell someone, you can't just send this blanket message out telling everyone they look great. Because what if someone that was, with all due respect, like morbidly obese, got this message, they would be offended, it would just be a bad situation. So I saw that and I said, someone is on it. Someone, somewhere within this entity is on it, is on their competitive game. Where you're not just sending out blanket messages to everyone, which is a wonderful thing. But how can you elevate your game enough to where you're doing a little research, you're determining who's who and potentially, what their body composition is like before you send them a message. So when you talk about from a market segmentation standpoint, you're beginning exerciser or gym member, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Just 3 buckets for the sake of simplicity. You could actually break those down to further segments, but I don't have time to get into all that. But you speak to those folks differently. Someone who's just joined the gym versus someone, like myself, who's going on to year 27, this coming 27th year here, coming on in May of next year. So very different messaging. You speak to even body composition. You talk to people differently. All right, like they said, okay, you look great, but how do you feel? So again, our gym can help you feel better, or whatever, this and that. So just that game right there. And I said, somebody is, from competitive strategy standpoint, somebody is on it. Somebody is on it. So I just wanted to give these examples just to show you got to know what your competitors are doing. How can you elevate your game? How can you elevate your game in these last few weeks of 2020, but most importantly, let a goal for 2021 be, how can we elevate our operations game? How can we elevate our marketing game? How can we elevate our sales game? Because that will truly open the doors to growth and certainly sustained, memberships and all of that in the midst of this pandemic. But folks, it will get better. I know it's a challenging time right now, but folks, we've got to keep hope alive. We've got to keep on keeping on. We've got to know, hey, we've made it this far. We're going to keep on keeping on, and it's going to get better. It's going to get better. So be thankful for the ways that you've been challenged this year, and from a leadership perspective. I know this has probably been the worst year of many leaders' lives, and inside the fitness industry and certainly outside. But it's these tests. The leadership tests are what force us to grow. The leadership tests are what force us to grow. You've seen me here this whole year almost on Fitness Friday since March. You've watched me face the biggest fitness test of my life when gyms were closed, because all of a sudden my quote unquote prop was gone. I didn't have anywhere to go exercise. So I had a decision to make. Am I just going to fold up, take my ball and go home? Or am I just going to keep myself in position and keep taking those shots? So I've been taking those shots at home-based fitness since then, outdoor-based fitness as well to a limited extent when I'm in Louisiana. So folks, keep on keeping on. Remain determined. Be creative. Be innovative. Be open. Be open to do things differently. Be open to what your competitors are doing. Don't try to copy them. If you're, again, this is not about imitation and we got to do what they got to do. And don't let insecurity drive you in these type of situations. Look at your situation, evaluate what are our strengths, our weaknesses, what is our revenue situation, what is our budget looking like, what does our staffing situation look like, and just plan accordingly. Make adjustments, but just be open. All right, folks, so those are the ways that we're going to make it through 2020, the rest of 2020 and beyond. So, folks, it has been great from a leadership perspective. I have enjoyed each and every episode. I look forward to continuing this series next year, talking about more leadership lessons. And again, my plan, I told you we got to be willing to veer off our plan. My plan for right now, I was supposed to be discussing leadership confidence. So that is actually going to be the first leadership series for 2021. We're going to be, I have not, that issue, that topic is right there on the top burner. So hang tight for that. But next week, I'm going to talk about joining gyms and fitness facilities as well as canceling those memberships. I can't wait. We're going to talk about some do's and don'ts and some lessons learned that certainly I'm willing to share along the way. So, but until then, folks, stay safe, stay well, stay encouraged, and stay strong in your leadership. Can't wait till next week. But until then, remember, I am positively passionate about your leadership, fitness, and success. Make it a great day.